Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Welcome to yet another edition of Cranky's Corner. I am the cranky old man, and I'm going to try and make this one quick today because I'm supposed to be doing housework. And if Sensible Wife catches me doing a video instead of doing my work, she's going to beat the holy hell out of me. So let me get this over as quick as possible. Dio. That's right. The band Dio, with the late great Ronnie James Dio, they re-released Holy Diver, but it's not just a re-release. They did a remix. I think it's Joe Barresi. I don't know. I've got the name over there. We'll get to that in a minute. Um, but they did a remix, and I picked it up. It actually came on Thursday, and I listened to it along with the original because I do have the original. I've got the original right here. The original Holy Diver album came out in '83. Let me tell you, this album was a life changer for me. This album blew me away when I first heard it. You know, they say music is the timeline of your life. You know, it's the soundtrack of your life, rather. And it's true. It really is. I remember exactly what I was doing, exactly where I was, exactly what I was feeling, exactly what I was thinking when I heard the first song off this album. This album from start to finish blew me away. But I digress. We're not talking about Cranky. We're talking about the album. This was released in '83. And this was just released in 2022 or re-released, but it's a little bit different. This is, like I said, a remix. I gotta get up and get it. Just got through giving it a listen, so I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it, pros and cons. This was it's a 2022 remix. They say it's a 2-album set. Hang on, I gotta put on Cranky Vision. I can't see a thing without Cranky Vision. Alright, there we go. That's better. It's 180 gram vinyl, 2022 remix by Joe Barresi. And Joe Barresi has done a lot of studio work and engineering work for a lot of famous bands. You just check them out online. And it's a remix. It's got reconditioned artwork. Let me get rid of this so you can see it better. The artwork is different. I'll try and put them side by side. Hopefully the light won't. This is the original. This is the remix. But Joe Barresi wasn't the artist on the this isn't the artist from the original, but it is a longtime Dio artist. It is a gatefold. And they say it's 2 albums. That's something we'll get into also in a little bit. Pros and cons. Well, I don't hear much of a difference in the remix. I think it's great. I'm going to tell you right now. I like this album. I think it's a great album. Thinking I like this one a little bit more. But I like this one, and there's a few songs on here that kind of stood out and surprised me. Caught in the Middle, Holy Diver, Gypsy. They kind of beefed up things. They didn't so much redo anything so much as they just tweaked some knobs. All right. Now me, I couldn't hear the difference. I'm only listening to this stuff when I'm doing other things. So, I didn't hear much of a difference, but I did hear a difference in some of the songs. The pros, the things I liked about this one, I liked they actually had studio count-ins. On the original, the song would just start. On some of these songs, they actually have 1, 2, 3. They have a vocal studio count-in. They have, drums. They actually beefed up some guitar parts in some of the songs so you can, hear louder rhythms, and it really is. They did a good job. They actually have proper endings to these songs. A lot of the songs on here, they do a fade out. You know what I mean by a fade out? That's where, a song will just kind of slowly go away. The songs here some of the songs have proper complete endings, and other ones just kind of stop. But but you can tell they were probably intended to fade out. Instead, they, faded out most of the other ones. But on here, it's a more complete recording. There's also Evil Eyes. Evil Eyes was the song that made it to this album, Last in Line, their second album. And I actually like the version on the second album better. It's almost like this version didn't have. It's almost like they didn't have enough time to work on it. Like it was just somehow incomplete. It doesn't have enough energy. The tempo is the same, but it's just you can tell it was still a work in progress. But it still sounds good. It's listenable. It sounds good. It is a little muddier than the rest of the album, though, which kind of surprised me. And that's pretty much the pros for this album. And again, it sounds really good. The cons, the things that I don't like about it is it's a 2-record set. Now, the same songs that are on here are on here. And granted, some of the songs are a tiny bit longer. But that, you still could have fit that on one album. And they say it's 2 albums. It's really only 1.5 because side 4 is blank. It's got some sort of a weird, almost, I want to say, lithograph. I'll open it up. Maybe you can see it. You see that? And that's it. Other than that, it's just blank, except for some artwork. So you really only get 3 sides. It would have been nice if they had put some of the CD material, because there is a CD for this one as well that I want to talk about. It would have been nice if they put some of the material that they offered on the CD set on side 4. Just to give you a taste, maybe whet your appetite, a couple of live tracks or whatever. That would have been nice. But overall, I would recommend for this one, if you're like me, and you only wanted the album, the proper album, you only wanted to spend the $35, okay, go ahead, Or if you're like me and you bank at the financial institution of Mean Wife and Trust, so you're not allowed to have any money, and if you spend $50 on the CD set, you're going to be sleeping in a tent for the next 6 months, $35 is probably the way to go. Or you can get the original. I got my original, I think, used you know, 20 something dollars. Or you might even be able to find a reissue of that for like 28. Again, Amazon's a good place to go for it if you don't want to shop a local record store. Um, the CD, I would recommend if you were going to get the remixed edition. I would recommend getting the CD because with the CD, you're going to get the original album, you're going to get the remixed album, you're going to get a live show from the Holy Diver tour. I don't know if it's a complete show or it's excerpts from the show, but you're going to get, live tracks from the Holy Diver tour, and you're going to get outtakes. Me, I wasn't too interested in the outtakes, except for the song Evil Eyes. I was interested in that. Um, I already had the original album. So, again, the $35 worked out for me. But, if you're one of those guys, like a lot of bang for your buck, that's a pretty damn good deal. $50, $54, $55 for, a CD set with all that stuff in it. So I would recommend the CD if you're going to buy the remix. And I would recommend the album proper, either the original release or find a remastered. I'm sure they probably did one of those as well. If you're looking for just the regular album. I mean, there's not much of a price difference because if you bought this new, you'd be spending, maybe $28, $29, versus this, which was $35. So you're talking about maybe $8, $10 difference between the two. So it all depends on what you want. Again, there were a few songs on here. They beefed it up like Holy Diver. I could hear some of the things in Vivian's guitar work. I can hear some of the effects that I couldn't hear on the original. Straight Through the Heart, I could hear some of Vinny Appice's drums in the beginning that I just never heard before. It's not that it was they didn't do a different take. It's just the way they redid the mix. So that was pretty surprising. I think Caught in the Middle, they beefed up the rhythm section a little bit, so you could hear it. The guitar does sound a little crunchier, but again, it wasn't a difference. It wasn't anything really, really noticeable or anything that really stood out where you were like, oh, wow, holy shit. No, this was just normal stuff. But anyway, that's my review for the Dio Holy Diver album. If I were you, I would get up out of my chair, I would run down to the store, and I would go buy it today. Any version you want. You can't go wrong. It's Dio, and Dio rules, especially the early stuff with the great Vivian Campbell on it. Until next time, my friends, my children, always stay cranky.